Hey y'all. So I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about something. It's something that I think about from time to time. It might be that I read something online or somebody says a statement that really makes me think about a specific question or a specific topic. And it's kind of has to do with, is homesteading over romanticized? Because there's a lot of people who say, there's a fly on me. There's a lot of people who say that, oh, absolutely it is. And then there's people who are like, oh no, it's all unicorns and rainbows and fairies, kind of deal. And so I just like to think about things. I get in deep thought about things like this because I think it matters. I think people hearing your heart on things and your opinion and what you think about it when you're homesteading or doing anything matters, because if you're pondering or contemplating or thinking about something, just hearing somebody else's thoughts on it sometimes helps you to sort your own thoughts out, or at least for me it does. So anyway, I feel like there are people who are on one end and the other, and then people who are somewhere in between, obviously, with anything in life. But I feel like you have this group of like the Laura Ingalls picturesque homesteading life, where everything is, in their mind, everything is perfect, and it's just, or that's what they're presenting online. Especially with social media and online, you can really get the idea that some people are out there, with the perfect homestead and the perfect animals and the perfect gardens, and there's never, any troubles or anything wrong. And most, I will say that of the homesteaders that I know online, most of them are not like that. There are a few here and there that are like that, where it's only, beautiful things and wonderful things and lovely things with no negativity involved at all. So you have this extreme of people who are over here where everything is romantic and perfect and beautiful, and then you have the other extreme of people who, and this is where, and if you are fall in any of these categories, this is not a negative attack. This is nothing against you. This is just my observation of what I've personally seen out there and what I've dealt with, and what I've seen how other people are presenting themselves. And there is a group of people who are just negative Nellies. So you have your Laura Ingalls and your negative Nellies, and the negative Nellies are like, there's nothing romantic about homesteading, and it's all poop and death and dirt and waking up early and misery and being out in the snow or the rain, or it goes on and on. And there are people who are very much like that. They are just going to find a way to be miserable. But I feel like it doesn't have anything to do with homesteading. If they're like that, it probably has a lot more to do with their heart and where they are in life, rather than what they're doing in life. Because homesteading is not miserable. Homesteading is a lot of hard work. Yeah, I won't deny that. But it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of satisfying and rewarding work. And a lot of people are like, oh, I sacrifice everything. I can't go on vacation. I can't do this. I can't afford this. I can't afford that because I homestead. And while there's sacrifice involved, you have to really think about the term sacrifice. And are you personally sacrificing? For me, it's not a sacrifice. Like, I don't really feel like I'm giving up anything to do this, because I love it. This is what I want to do with my life, and I love it so much that it is what makes me happy and fulfills me. It's not about sacrificing anything to be able to do this. There are times that there are expenses involved that we can't necessarily afford, and we just figure out what to do and how to deal with it. But it is a choice we've made to live like this and live this lifestyle, and we've made it because we love it, not because not for any other reason, so it's not a sacrifice per se for me. But the whole notion that it's all miserable and horrible really frustrates me when I see people, because I'm like, why are you doing it? If you don't enjoy it at all, if you really feel about it the way you portray yourself feeling about it online, then why do you do it? And why do you just tell everybody how awful it is if that's how you feel about it? Why are you only sharing negative things instead of happy and positive things and good things? Because, I like to think about happy and lovely and wonderful things, not, hard and negative and sad things. And yes, if you're raising livestock, you're probably going to deal with death. I mean, realistically, we raise meat birds, and everybody knows meat birds aren't the hardiest creatures in the world. So if you order over 100 meat birds, you're going to lose a good bit. You might lose a dozen of those birds, but that's part of it. And it's sad, and death is not easy to deal with. In fact, this morning, we found one of the bantam chicks had died, and it belonged to Jeremiah. And his sweet, tender little 8-year-old heart was devastated. He was sobbing, you know, and it broke my mama heart for him, because I don't want to see my babies hurting. You know, I don't want to see a baby chick dead. It's just, that's sad. But it is part of it, you know, and no, that's not romantic. That is reality. But we also have 125 chicks in the brooder that are still healthy and thriving and alive and doing great, and that is wonderful and awesome. And most of those are going to provide meat for our freezer, and the ones that don't are going to provide eggs for our family. So it's not, you know, you have to take the negative in life with the positive, and you have to realize that the positives really do outweigh the negative most of the time. You know, we had goats, and one of our goats died. It was really sad and horrible and awful. But that's what happens, you know, when you have animals, when you have goats. Goats like to die. It's just what they do. But anyway, the point of that is, yes, there will be hard times. And yes, there's chickens right now. I'm frustrated because the chickens are pooping on everything in the barn. They're just everywhere and in everything. They will not stay in their coop. They're out of control. They're laying eggs everywhere. But we've got a solution for that. We're going to build, and we'll show you that in another video, we're going to build an egg mobile so they can get out in the pasture more rather than being in the barn and all over everything. But you know, yeah, that's a frustrating thing I have to deal with. I have to clean my stanchion off every morning before I milk because the chickens have been pooping all over it. It's really gross, but I deal with it because I love what I do. And I am a homesteading romantic. I will tell you that. I don't only share the good and the positive, because I think it's important to share both. I try to share mostly positive, happy things, because that's what we like to focus on. But you know, there are times that bad things happen, sad things happen, and it's not fair. And that's what it boils down to. The people who are negative, it's almost like they want to deter anybody from trying to homestead or from homesteading, because they personally find it negative. And then you have the other people who are like setting you up to think that everything's going to be perfect all the time, when reality is there's a balance, there's a mix, just like anything in life. But for me, I'm a hopeless homestead romantic, and we're eight years into this. But you know what? 8 years in, when I see my seeds sprout, my little tomatoes pop out of their little cup or cell, I get ridiculously giddy. I'm so happy inside. It's the same as the first time I ever sprouted a tomato. I'm just like, it's so exciting. And when I come out here to the garden and I see all of these baby tomatoes hanging on the vine right here, there's cluster after cluster. I'm just as excited and giddy as I was when I had my first tomato plant. I am like overwhelmed with excitement. Every day, the kids fight over who's going to go collect eggs, because they love collecting the eggs, because it's exciting and it's fun. To this day, I'm talking about all my kids, my older kids too. They don't really fight. They just, you know, it's more of a race to see who can find the eggs first. And the reality is, and the truth is, I would just as happily take that egg basket and go out to the barn every single day and do an egg hunt myself and search for eggs, because it's still fun. It's still exciting. It's still fulfilling. And I milk my cow. You know, a lot of people are like, don't get a dairy animal because, you know, you're going to give up your life. And that could be true. It just depends on the animal and how you're going to run your farm and do it. My cow gets milked once a day. We milk her every morning. It doesn't really take me that long to milk. I have Kylie help me. And I love milking. It's like one of my favorite things to do. And it's good for me. It gets me out of bed. I'm not the most morningest person out there. I love being up early in the morning. I really do. I enjoy it, but I don't like getting up. And so when I'm in bed in the mornings and it's warm and cozy and snuggled, and I'm starting to wake up and realize, oh man, I got to get up. My cow needs to be milked. You know, sure, there might be a part of me that's like, I could just lay here and sleep for another hour. But I know that when I get up and go out to milk the cow, I'm going to be much happier than if I had laid in that bed another hour and not milked the cow on time and all of that. So I do have to get up every day and go out and milk the cow, but what she provides is invaluable. I mean, that's like nothing compared to the value of what we get out of that animal and the enjoyment. I love milking my cow. It's just something I enjoy doing, and it was, you know, it was a dream of mine to have a cow. I had the romantic idea of having a family milk cow, and it was 3 years in that I got one, and I loved milking my cow. We call her Gertie 1.0, our first milk cow. She was a Jersey. Every day I went out there and milked cow, loved it. And then when we moved to Florida, we had to give her up. We had her a couple of years, And that was really, really hard. I was really sad because I didn't know at what point I would be able to have another cow. I was hoping once we moved we would get settled and be able to get one, but that didn't happen. And so it was another 3 years before I was milking again. We got this Gertrude. Well, I milk goats, but I enjoyed the goats, enjoyed milking them, but there's something about the milk cow for me personally that I just really love. And so getting the milk cow 3 years later again was another fulfillment of the dream. And it's still exciting to me, still makes me happy to go out there and milk that cow every day. Every single day of my life, I go out there. And then I think about when we're going to breed her and we have to dry her off, and it's like, man, what am I going to do? You know, maybe we'll add a second cow by then. I don't know. We have no idea. We'd love to, but, you know, it's like, it's not like, oh, I'm looking forward to the 2-month break while she's dried off before she calves again. It's like, oh, I'm not going to be able to milk for 2 whole months. That's really sad. We're not going to have fresh milk for 2 whole months. And that's even sadder. So it's just really, it really depends on who you are and your perspective and your heart on it. And for me personally, I will always be a hopeless homestead romantic. I don't know about you. But yeah, there are hard times and there are good times, you know. But the reality is, it's all in how you choose to view it and how you choose to partake in it. And I choose to partake in it with joy and happiness and thankfulness because I'm living my dream right now. There are things that I desire and want that I don't have yet, but I am really blessed to have what I do have. I'm living somebody else's dream right now, you know? There's a lot of people I know out there that really want to be doing what I'm doing, and I don't take that for granted. I really appreciate that and that I'm getting to do this. It's not always easy, and we have worked very, very hard for everything we have. None of it has come by easy, but it's been so worth it. So worth it. And yeah, I wouldn't trade it. I just wouldn't trade this lifestyle for anything. There's nothing out there that is more appealing to me than raising my family this way. So I guess that's just kind of my 2 cents worth out there about the whole homesteading being a romantic lifestyle. If I were to be asked that and I had to answer with just a yes or no, I would say yes, homesteading is a romantic lifestyle because I choose to see it that way and continue to make it that for me and my family.